Welcome to Heal Yourself podcast, and for today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to deal with negative thoughts naturally. The reason why I said naturally is because, sometimes our way of dealing with negative thoughts can be like using medicine, okay? And there's no shame in that. So don't feel like any type of way if you use like medicine to deal with negative thoughts. And the reason I'm saying that is because there are some people who actually deal with like OCD thoughts as well, but that'll be in like a different episode. But this episode is going to be about people that deal with negative thoughts, and this is for people who want to deal with it naturally instead of like taking medication, because I do know that there are some people who have had bad experiences taking medication and trying to like get rid of negative thoughts. And something that I've noticed is when I used to like go on TikTok and stuff, I used to see things about some people who have taken medication, had very bad experiences, and they said that they would have way worse thoughts than it is before they took the medicine. So this is for people who want to deal with negative thoughts naturally. So my first tip to deal with negative thoughts naturally is to practice gratitude. And the reason why I say practicing gratitude helps with that is because when you practice gratitude, you train your mind to be looking for more positive things, okay? And the reason why I say this is because actually gratitude has helped me through a lot of bad stuff in my life. I one time was like at the darkest moment in my life, and I remember seeing something popped up on TikTok. It always gotta be TikTok, obviously. And I saw something about a girl saying what to do when you're going through hard times. And I saw something where she said something about practicing gratitude. And I was like, okay, let me try that because I'm going through a very dark moment. I need some type of positivity in my life. So I go and write in my journal. And she said basically to write 3 things you're grateful for. It don't have to be 3. It can be 1 thing. You don't have to do it like 10. You don't have to go overboard. Just think about 1 or 3 things specifically that you're grateful for. And I thought about all the things, like 3 things that I'm grateful for. And I wrote it down, and I felt way much better. And it has been proven scientifically that gratitude, like practicing gratitude, makes you a happier person in life. So if you're somebody who's like sad and everything, or you feel depressed, practicing gratitude actually reduces depression. And you can look it all up. Like, it's on Google. I've done research. I've seen things about practicing gratitude. I've seen how it changes the neurotransmitters in your brain. It produces this chemical called dopamine. That's basically what practicing gratitude produces. It produces the neurotransmitter dopamine in your brain. So that's why when you practice gratitude, you feel 10 times better, because basically you just released a chemical that is in your brain called dopamine. So the second way to deal with negative thoughts, I would say, is to meditate more. And actually, I was feeling very numb this morning, and I was feeling very burnt out to the point where it's like I felt sad, I felt numb, I felt like a zombie, honestly. I felt drained. I feel like my life wasn't getting anywhere. And I feel like it was just all over the place. I feel like my life is behind, and I had to get off of social media because I do notice when I go on social media, it tends to mess with my thoughts, and that's what produces negative thoughts sometimes in your brain. Is when you're when you're looking at stuff that feeds it. Like when you're looking at things that feeds negative energy, you bring things that causes negative things. So I had to get off social media. and I was burnt out. And I said, I need to feel better right now. Just anything. Like, I need to feel calmer and I need to feel better. I need to feel something because I feel completely numb. I meditated for 3 minutes. And I'm going to tell you, meditation will change your life. But I meditated for 3 minutes. And I slightly felt better. And it wasn't like a quick boost. It wasn't like a boost that you would feel. It was just almost like I felt something. Okay? I felt a little bit better. Like, I felt calmer. And I felt like I was centered. So that's how I felt when I meditated for 3 minutes. And I think that's something I'm going to start doing every single day as a habit, because meditation is actually really good for you, for people who stress a lot. I'm somebody who do stress like moderately about things. I don't stress like all the time, but I stress about things sometimes. Probably when I like think about it. So yeah. But I would say that meditation is really good to help to deal with negative thoughts, because it helps quiet your brain. So it gets rid of not just negative thoughts, but it also has been proven that meditation also helps with depression, and it helps with intrusive thoughts. So if you're somebody who have thoughts that are weird, or thoughts just come out of your mind out of the blue and you just don't know where they come from, and I'm not talking about thoughts as like want to kill yourself or anything. Like, if you're having thoughts like that, you should probably go get help. But I'm talking about thoughts that's like just randomly come out the blue, maybe like an awkward thought or something like that. It's like normal sometimes, and you just, because I'm pretty sure everyone experiences that every once in a while. But some people do try to like self-diagnose themselves and think that they have OCD. But I would suggest, if you're just like kind of like trying to figure out what it is, probably talk to a therapist or a psychologist. I don't know how to say it right. I don't know. I think, yeah, you talk to a therapist or a person, like a psychiatrist or people of that form, because you don't know what you might have. Like, you might actually have OCD, and then, or you might have something else, or PTSD or something, but you're, diagnosing yourself. Don't self-diagnose yourself, actually. Don't do that. But yeah, anyways, sorry for rambling. I was just trying to like say all the things of what I'm thinking. But the third thing I would say that helps with dealing with negative thoughts, well, it can be reducing it as well. And that has made me actually way more happier, is something I heard. I think it's called CBT. I think it's cognitive behavioral therapy. They actually have apps for that on App Store. If you search up CBT on App Store, you will see things pop up about it. And basically what it does is it helps clears those thoughts out your mind. It's kind of almost like they're going to ask you a set of questions about like, what thought are you having, what is bothering you, why is this bothering you, what can you do to change this thought process, and basically try to rewire that thought and switch it over. So that's kind of what it's going to do. But if you want to see more details in it, just try to search up CBT on the App Store. And also that is like kind of like CBT, but it's kind of different, but it's kind of like CBT. It's called EFT tapping. I actually tried it before. This one is a game changer because it actually helps with rewiring your subconscious mind, from what I've heard. And what it does is it actually like it reduces stress. It actually helped people that had PTSD. So people that have PTSD, you could try this technique or something. This could actually help. But I would say if you want to get into more details of those things, just look it up. There's a guy that talks about EFT tapping and stuff. And, he says how it actually changed his life and his client's life as well. So I would say look it up. But actually, it's really good because I've seen a lot of people that have talked about it. And it also helps with people that has ADHD as well. Like, if you have low levels of focusing, tapping really helps with that. So yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to look at my notes right now. And the last one I would say is to label negative emotions as emotions. This one is a game changer. So when you're labeling emotions, negative emotions as emotions, and that's not masking your emotions, just want to clarify that. The only way you're masking your emotions is if you're doing something like, say for instance, if I were to take, how can I say, in my opinion, if I were to take a medicine or a pill and I just take it for that to boost my mood, that's masking your emotions. You're not getting to the root of it. You're just getting to the surface of it. You're not getting to the root. If you don't get to the root of it, then it will always be there. The problem will always be stuck there. So the thing I would say is, and negative emotions are emotions. Just want to clarify that. They are emotions. The reason why we put a label on it is because that is our way of identifying the difference between our emotions. And labeling negative emotions as emotions is not a bad thing because, again, they are still emotions. Like, positive emotions are still an emotion. Neutral emotions are still an emotion. Negative emotions are still an emotion. They're just all emotions. That's just what they are. The reason why they have each name is because we label them with a name. We label it with a name. So we can label this negative. We can label this neutral. We can label this positive, So just label it as emotion. So when you start to get in a bad mood, that's a negative emotion, okay? Because sad, angry, depressed, those are negative emotions. Label it as emotion. It's the same way as if you were having, how can I say it? It's the same way when you're having a negative thought. Label that thought a thought because it is a thought. The only way you are changing the thought is if you're labeling it. Because if you label your thoughts with a name, then it is still considered a thought. If you label it negative thought, that's the name you label it. Because by you observing and being aware of what it is, you've identified what kind of thought is in your mind. So that helps you be more aware of your thoughts. So and sometimes that technique doesn't work for people. Sometimes you have to try different techniques. Sometimes just labeling as a thought does not work. Sometimes you have to do, like I said, meditation. So hopefully all these tips can help you with your negative thoughts and stuff. One of them helped me so far. Probably about two of them helped me so far. Because I was in a bad mood just a moment ago, and I had to go make me some coffee and just chill for a moment. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to post this episode. But yeah, hopefully this episode helps you out. And don't forget to check out my Patreon, my YouTube channel, and I have my podcast available on Apple Podcast as well. So it's not only on Spotify, but it's on Apple Podcast as well. So hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.